Greetings, hello, and welcome to Evan's fasting vlog, The Aftermath. So, it's been a couple weeks since I've been back among the eating and among the living in the real world, and not at True North Health Center in the retreat, where you're very isolated and immersed in the culture of fasting and health education. Whew! It is truly a hostile environment out here in the real world, the social world. And we are such social animals, and we follow each other and we mock our environment, and we don't want to miss out on anything that everyone else is enjoying. And that makes for big challenges when it comes to trying to truly stay healthy and eat only what we know would be nourishing for our body and nothing more. And that's the world that we live in, especially here in the United States, especially in the affluent world of abundance and of indulgence and of eating for pleasure and living for as much pleasure as we can get, especially when we're not busy working or doing things that we have to do. Then we do the things we want to do, which is generally pursuing some kind of pleasure or maybe volunteering or producing something that's useful for the world. So I am back in that environment, and it's been a totally mixed bag, so I wanted to share it. I wanted to give some time to ruminate and marinate and digest everything that happened and see sort of where things go with my body and my health in the immediate aftermath of having been there at True North and fasted and everything. So today's that day. Let's see what I've got to say. First of all, I am so glad that I did it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to True North Health Center. I'm grateful to Dr. Goldhammer and his team up there. They are providing us some powerful wisdom, education, information, and insights, and an opportunity to go and do a retreat and learn more about our body and our health and food and eating, and have an opportunity to fast and clear out a lot of things in the body and do a big reset, especially for the palate and the gut biome and the body and the mind. Let's face it, when you stop eating, you're making a significant impact and having a profound experience. And I did that, and I'm grateful, and it was wonderful, and I wouldn't change anything. Yes, I would do it again, and we'll see where that goes. Can't predict the future, but I am interested in more fasting. I'm interested in True North Health Center, and I'm interested in pursuing health and all that entails. So with that, I will share more details about the experience and what I got from it and what I didn't get from it and where I'm at now, which is the end result is really what counts, right? So I went to True North quite well prepared to fast, and that was definitely one of the keys to the ease of doing it. It's funny, on one hand they tell you, you better prepare really well for your fast or it's going to be really miserable. And then they also say at the same time, if you don't prepare and you're miserable, we're going to laugh at you. Don't expect sympathy from us. We're just going to laugh at you and say, suck it up. You should have prepared. So a little bit of tough love there. So I was well prepared, and the fast went great. You can see from all my vlog entries, I was not suffering in any way. I was feeling good. It was easy for me to do the fast, likely because I had prepared so well. And I'm certainly, obviously, not someone with a lot of stored nutrition, fat stores, etc. in my body. So I was working off of fumes and ketosis, and since I fasted with no food whatsoever for 7 full days, I did get to the stage of autophagy, and that's one of the big benefits of fasting and one of the goals that you want to reach. So I accomplished all that. What I didn't accomplish was resolving my digestion issues, and I really believe that I needed more time. I needed a longer fast. I just can't help but resonate with what Lauren Lockman is saying about the 21-day fast. And I'll get a little tiny bit graphic here just for a second to illustrate the point. And that's that when you fast, so you've been eating up until the point that you stop eating, and then of course you keep moving your bowels because you're digesting what you had last eaten, even though you stopped eating. And then that that dries up, so to speak. You clear yourself out, right? And then you stop having bowel movements. And then after a certain period of continued fasting, you start having them again. You start clearing out things that were in the small intestine that have gathered over years, even decades, which is kind of amazing. And I didn't experience that at all. So what happened to me was as soon as I went on the juice day, and then maybe that day, maybe one more day, I had bowel movements, and then that was it. It just stopped. And I figured, oh, okay, then everything cleared out. But fast forward 9 days, and I had done the juice day, and then 7 fasting days, and then one more juice day. As soon as I start juicing again, and they told me, they said, when you start juicing again, stay in your apartment because you're going to start going. And that was the case with me. But I realized then that I hadn't finished flushing everything out in the early stages of the fast, and so it had really just been sitting in me, in my system, small intestine, colon, wherever, for the 7 days I was fasting. And then when I juiced again at the end, whoosh, things started coming right out. So I'd say the main thing is I don't feel I went long enough on the fast. It was 9 days without food, again, 2 juice and 7 water only. So I didn't get quite all the results I was looking for. And in fact, as soon as I started refeeding, I had the juice day, and then I had the raw fruit and salad with no dressing day. And it was either that day or I think it was the next day where it was raw fruit and salad, and then I started just eating some steamed greens and a little bit of potato. Boom. My bloating and my cramping in the stomach came right back. And I must admit, I was pretty discouraged by that. I was just a wee bit devastated because that's the main thing I was trying to resolve. I was trying to get a kickstart on healing my lung condition, and I was trying to fix that digestive issue and reset the gut biome. I was trying to reset my palate as well and kind of get off of the taste for high salt, high sugar, high fat foods. And it was, I got to admit, it was really discouraging when the bloating came right back. And then when I talked to the doctor, and they really had no answers. And my own conclusion, again, was just that I hadn't fasted long enough. But I don't know. I mean, the only way to test that is to fast for a lot longer and see how it goes. The great news, and I remember in a video way back in the early fasting vlog, day 0 videos, I talked about my skin, and one other thing that I was doing was getting off of all my any kind of medication, even over the counter that I was getting off of, even just skin treatment stuff. And I did, and I'm so happy about that. I'm not on, when I go to a new, haven't been for an eye exam since I was literally a little kid. And so that was one thing the doctor there recommended is, get your eyes checked. You're almost 50 years old. It's time to start doing some of these things like colonoscopy and full eye examination. So I'm doing those now. I went to the eye doctor, and you fill out your forms with your medical history and everything. It says, are you currently taking any medications, prescription or otherwise? And there's nothing to fill out. Zip, I'm on nothing. So what I'm getting at, though, is about the skin, and that I was the poster child, hardly a child, even in my 40s, for Stridex and OxyWash, benzoyl peroxide, and the Stridex pads on the face. And they work, and they did a good job, and I didn't have acne, but I'm inhaling all this salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide. I don't think it's good for the nose. And the skin really, if you don't have to do something, don't do it. We'd rather be just the most natural. But if you have things like acne, you want to address them because that's an aesthetic issue and a social issue and everything. No one wants to hang around the zit face guy, right? Just kidding. Have your zits. We still love you. But I wanted to be as clear as possible. And as you can see, in the sunshine here on this lovely morning, my skin is great. And I quit OxyWash and Stridex pads before I started the fast. So I've now been well over a month without using any of those at all, and I've not had one breakout, I've not had one zit. I'm so happy, finally. God, when I turned 30, I thought, okay, I gotta be over this acne stuff now. I'm gonna try quitting these, and boom, zit the next day. And then I turned 40, I'm like, okay, I'm 40 years old. Even adult acne, I've gotta be over that, right? And stopped, and boom, the next day, zit. Breakout. So now it worked. I'm 49, but I finally got off of those things. And I just wash my face with just a regular old bar of soap in the morning in the shower. And I do it before I go to bed at night. And I do one in the middle of the day as well, just to refresh and get it clean. But it's just any old soap. I can do it any sink, anywhere, any soap. Just a quick wash with a little bit of soap. And I'm good. So I'm very happy about that. If nothing else, hey, I went to a fasting experience and I got off of any acne treatment. So that was great, and no prescriptions for anything and no over-the-counter drugs for anything. So that was a total win from the experience. And hopefully I got a kickstart on healing the lung condition. I'm doing pretty well with things, but since we didn't figure out everything that's going on with the digestion, I'm back in action working on that with my new physician, and we're looking into it. I had thought that we did a number of lab tests up there at True North Health Center, drew a bunch of vials of blood, gave a bunch of stool samples, and they looked down a whole list of things, and my numbers were great. And so then why do I have these issues? My new doctor is pretty darn thorough herself, and so she's going to do a new series of stool samples, urine samples, blood samples, and we're going to look into how my digestion is working. You know, they look at the stool sample to see, okay, what digested and what didn't, and what enzymes are there, and what bacteria are there, and everything, and get that worked out. So I'm working on it, and I'm pleased. But at the same time, I was discouraged. I was a tiny little bit devastated that it wasn't the panacea I had hoped for, even though it was only 7 days, and I believe the panacea comes after 3 times that amount of fasting. I did get down to what I felt was, oh boy, close to the lowest weight I'd want to be. I lost 15 pounds in the fasting process. I had already lost 5 pounds before I went in the preparation process. When I came home, I was discouraged. It sort of threw me that it wasn't as good as I had hoped, and that as soon as I started eating again, my bloating came back. And so I had kind of a, screw this attitude. And I tell you, I will admit, the first place we went, we left the property at True North and we drove right to the drive-thru at Starbucks, and I had a banana bread and a coconut milk cappuccino. So, close to vegan, definitely some sugar and fat, but and the caffeine. But it was good. I didn't feel guilty. I just said, hey, we're out of there. We're doing this now. We're back to real life in the real world, and I accepted that and indulged a little bit. Since then, I have been doing very mixed with food. We've not been eating fully vegan. We've not been avoiding sugar fully. We've definitely not been avoiding salt and fat fully. And I just have kind of mixed feelings about all these things. I'm okay with them. I accept that that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to feel guilty or shame. And I feel pretty good. I have a little bit of the bloating, a little bit. Actually, I haven't been doing much of the cramping or the nausea, just kind of bloated. So I really think that it helped me a lot, and I'm on the right track, and things are going to get better. There were a lot of people up there at True North who were treating much more serious conditions and more obesity and diabetes and blood pressure issues and cardiac issues, and I don't have those. So I was going up against, I don't know, maybe more subtle conditions than something so obvious and clearly diagnosed as that. So sometimes the subtle conditions take more investigation and more experimentation and maybe more time and a little more effort and vigilance in resolving. So I'm working towards that, and that feels good. And I'm back in the swing of things, and I'm cooking like crazy, and it feels good. It feels right. We eat, gosh, 95% plant-based. We're not opposed or even immune to going out and just have the cinnamon roll. It's okay. One thing I definitely learned over at True North was don't try and go for perfection. It's too difficult. You're setting the bar too high, you won't achieve it, and then you'll be really discouraged and say screw it and go all the way to the other side and eat hot dogs and french fries. So we eat the hot dog and the french fry. It's not the end of the world. It's not healthy, it's not optimal, but it's not the end of the world either. Find the balance. Don't go eating hot dogs for lunch every day. I haven't actually had a hot dog since we've been back, but just making a point here about not striving for perfection. If we eat 90% great, excellent, healthy, plant-based food, great. We're doing pretty darn well. And from the people I know and the way I've lived and the people around me socially have lived, I'm eating in a way that I would determine as being much, much healthier than most, than I used to, than my parents did, and that my mom died 10 years ago, but that my dad still does. I eat much, much healthier. And you see the result. He's doing pretty poorly health-wise. And really, those are the motivations for what I'm doing. Those are the reasons. I don't want to end up sick and dying pretty young at 76 like my mom. And I want to avoid that. I don't want to create a big pressure and stress on myself in doing so. I want to be social, and that's what I'm grappling with, is finding that balance. How can you be social and eat the fun food sometimes and eat mostly healthy most of the time? The food that they serve at True North Health Center is extremely bland, and it's bland for a few different reasons. I mean, it's the healthiest food. It's nothing offensive to the body, salt, oil, sugar, but it's also designed to be very, very bland, to help you reset your palate and help you realize, okay, if I can handle this, if I can eat just plain steamed greens and just raw fruit and salad with dressings that have no oil or fat or salt in them, if you can do that, boy, you can survive most anything. You can handle not eating the real pleasurable, rich, fatty, salty, sweet foods that are so prevalent in the standard American diet. So it's just a good lesson in what's possible and a retraining for the body. And so I'm so grateful to have done that and to even be aware of it and have had that experience. So I look at it as very positive all around, and I'm still working out some of the final kinks in the body. And I didn't get a full heal on my arthritis. I believe that would take a longer fast than just 7 days. And I'm working on that one as well. Probably go in and just get the arthroscopic surgery from the expert next year, well, later this year, something, when it feels right. And just get this health stuff worked out. It's so worth it. This is our body. We only get one. And there's how we treat it, and then there's how it behaves and responds, and then what we do in the aftermath, in the wake of discovery of a problem and a symptom. So thank you so much for joining me, and I really wish you luck and smarts and good strength to carry through with your convictions and get healthy in whatever that means to you. Ooh, that sun is getting super bright. So we need some sun. I need some sun. My vitamin D was a tiny bit low, and I'm going to get lots of sun and probably supplement it as well. And vitamin D, I understand, is an important one for helping promote health in many other ways in the body. So here's to our health and thriving. And let's learn to thrive individually, collectively, so we can move forward as a human family. Sending much love and respect and appreciation. Thanks so much for joining me. There will be more vlogging in the future. We are revamping our YouTube channel, and we've got so much content coming out, and we're going to start doling out content, a couple pieces a week, and lots of really, really good stuff in store. So thanks for being with us. Much love. Take care.